Alright, so I'm Nathan Geezy, and this is my feminist critique presentation. Like many of you guys did, I did define feminism in 3 waves. The first wave was in the 1850s. This is when women first got organized, and it wasn't just individuals fighting. They focused on education, employment, and marriage laws. This wave is often associated with the suffrage movement, and like we saw in Iron Jaw Angels. A definition that I found from this time period was the first concentrated movement working for the reform of women's social and legal inequalities in the 19th century. The second wave started towards the end of World War II and lasted until the 1980s. This wave, they focused more to include more social groups. They also focused more on social inequalities than legal inequalities, like the right to vote. The definition that I found from this time period was feminism rose out of the Civil War rights and anti-war movements, in which women unhappy with their second-class status, even in the activist movement of the student policies, began to band together and contend against criticism or discrimination. And the third wave started in the 1990s and is still going today. This wave differed by focusing on the personal empowerment of women rather than specific groups, and they're also the first to recognize women's sexuality. And the definition that I found from this time period was feminism is an ongoing project or process undertaken on a daily basis by millions of women of all ages, class, ethnic, and racial backgrounds and sexual preferences. My personal definition of a feminist is someone who is passionate about achieving greater gender equality. They must openly express their views and actively engage in improving gender equality. That being said, I would not consider myself a feminist because I do not actively participate in getting better gender equality, but I would consider myself a pro-feminist because I do support the views, and I don't mind doing stuff like the volunteer projects that we did to help feminists, but I would not consider myself one. And the feminist critique that I did was on motorcycle apparel, and just in general, the whole biker community is male dominated. There are a lot of women that ride, but the majority of them are passengers. So you can see from these pictures, I think there's only one woman, and she's right there, and she is a passenger. And that even though that women aren't the main drivers, they need protection, so they need the apparel. And there's just a very limited amount of it. If you go to a sports shop, there is almost none for women, and there's very little compared to how much there is for men offered online. And I apply the contextual nature of scientific inquiry to this because it's a male-dominated culture, and riding motorcycles is viewed as a male activity. And as you can see on the left picture, that's what most people would probably consider a typical biker. And whenever you do see women portrayed in having motorcycles, it's usually more as an advertisement and as a sex object rather than actually participating in riding. Also apply the difference factor to this because men and women are viewed as being biologically different and therefore needing different equipment to ride with. And if on the left side you can see a skull helmet that's designed for a male and styled for them. And then on the right you can see the pink helmet is styled for females. And my course reflection is through this class I became more aware of gender imbalances. I guess before this class I never really noticed that many gender imbalances. I thought everything was fine. And this class really did change my views. I did find myself changing the way I thought, finding myself change like the way I thought about gender inequality and just noticing it a lot more like through the journals. And my favorite things from this class was in-class discussion. I really liked hearing from everyone else and seeing you guys' viewpoint on stuff. I really enjoyed the book that I read, and I also liked the movie Iron-Jawed Angels and the guest speakers. 5 most important themes or ideas that I found was that women are the minority in STEM fields. I guess I noticed it, but I didn't really ever think about it, and I think this is like the main reason why we have this class. And I also think that we all have biases. The implicit bias survey that we took, I thought that was really good and kind of a foolproof way to see if you have biases. I'd never taken a survey like that before. All the other ones that I had were just answer questions like rate on a scale from 1 to 10. I found that to be really interesting. And then the other thing that I found was for women to be more successful, we need a better mentoring program. This was a theme in both of my scholarly article reviews that I did. And then technology affects gender imbalances that I got from the book that I read. And the other thing was that women had to overcome a lot of barriers to achieve their rights and be able to vote. And I never thought that they had to really do much, that men just gave women the right to vote. But after watching Iron-Jawed Angels, that really changed my opinion of it. And those are my sources.